I really like this theme song, as in it just gets me like, Justice, have I said thank you again for this theme song you created? Thank you so much. Good morning, family. Welcome, everybody. What a delight to have us all here this morning. Thank you for being here. I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I hope you are too. In fact, I know you are too. Oh, yesterday I got messages. Some people were saying, Coach, well done. No, you were looking so tired this morning. Coach, well done. No, you were yawning this morning. These are the sacrifices to make, and I make them with all joy and gladness. And 2024 is going to be a year of many sacrifices. And we will make the sacrifices with joy because we'll understand the reason for the sacrifices. I was speaking with Justice this morning, and he made a statement that was profound to me. And I just thought then to share that, earlier in the year, we were talking about get your PVC. And he was like, see, PVC is not the issue. PVC is really not the issue, because regardless, we may not be able to control the outcomes of governance, whether we vote or not, even when we vote and vote right. But what can we control? We can control the decisions we make around us, our lives, our businesses, our families, our children, our communities, and which is why we are here at Wiser. So he was saying to him, attending Wiser and doing what we agree, acting out, living out the principles we agree here at Wiser, kind of like more important to him than getting a PVC if he wants to compare. And I agree to a large extent. As much as I am a very big proponent of get your PVC, go and vote, I am also a mighty proponent of make wise decisions. Make wise decisions, because we are able to create bubbles, as it were, within larger society. So in this same society, and I'm speaking about Nigeria in particular right now, where we have a lot of things that are out of place, guess what? There are many of us who are still getting things right within our space. Yes, we're feeling the effect of the petrol hike. We feel some of the effect of the dollar hike. But how does it really change our daily lives and living? Little or none, because we are making wiser decisions constantly. I've been on this table since past 3. I've written a number of things for my work. I've done a number of transactions. I've put in place a few structures from now till 1st of January 2025. I've ended, well, some of my automatic payments have already ended this December. Some are ending. I was reshaping the ones for next year, what I'm contributing to, some of the things I'm going to do, because these things will shape my 2024, shape my life, shape my success, and of course, shape my family, shape my joy. So please make decisions. Don't make too many that would overwhelm you. If you make 3 solid decisions from the very beginning of Wiser till now, till the end, and you follow through, oh my gosh, our lives will change. This morning, our speaker, my sister, my friend, is one who does believe in commitment. She does believe in thinking right. And the reason is, when you do think right, your feelings, your emotions will then be right. And then your body is able to follow that direction. She does believe in creating worlds out of thought. Oh yes, she's a thought doctor. She was here earlier in the month on the 6th of December, and we loved her. And we are so delighted to have Ella back with us. Coach E. Wiser Nation welcomes you. We are honored to have you here with us. Welcome,
Thank
love.
you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you. I think that that intro song that you talked about, you needed to see me back here. I was like, eh. I said, I said at the camera, come on, man, we're digging into this song. The intro is beautiful.
Yeah.
Verses. Thank you so much. It just
Thank
kind of
you.
wakes you up, like saying, come on, ready? Are you ready? That's the kind of intro that everybody needs before they come up.
Maybe we
Beautiful.
should now do an outro. Maybe we should do an outro as well, so that when we're leaving, we should play it as we go in and say goodbye. Oh yeah, Justice.
Mm.
Let's arrange. Let's arrange. Ella, I leave you to it. Let me go into the background.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm seeing all the welcome. Thank you so much. Wiser Nation, you guys know the cocoa. You guys know the cocoa. So I am very honored to be back here. I just said it yesterday, another opportunity to get wiser. What a privilege we have. For me, this is one of the best decisions that we make in our lives, showing up every day. And one of the things that I also find very interesting about this is that we are building the muscle of consistency, right? Showing up every day, coming back to listen, coming back to watch. You think it's just about wiser, but remember that as you do one thing, you do the rest, you do other things. So if you consistently build this muscle, it is very likely that you will be able to build other muscles of consistency in other areas. You will be able to show up in other areas as you have showed up here, right? So I'm saying a big well done to everybody who has made the commitments with JD to say, I would show up here. Because if there's something that all of us can attest to, is that JD shows up. Regardless, JD shows up, and she's able to do it because she has built that muscle. She has built that muscle. She has become that person. So as we have done 30 days, 30 days is effective to change a habit. So I salute all of you, Wiser Nation. You guys have done so well. Day 22, amazing. Do you know where we started? I'm sure if they are told you, Save, that you will be able to show up or remain consistent up till now, I'm sure some of us would have doubted. But check it out, girl. Check it out, guy. You have done well. So I salute you this morning. Well done. Well done. I know how this time thing works, so let's just jump into it. So today we know we're doing Proverbs 22. Today is Proverbs 22. Yeah. So, and we're using the NLT version. That's the version we're using this morning. All right. We're good. Remember that every time, I would remind you again that every time you read the book of Proverbs or any chapter of the book, right? I know we're focusing on the book of Proverbs, but anytime you pick up this book, the Bible, and you are reading it, always remember that it flows from the place of love, because it makes it easy for you to take whatever is given to you the day that you open it and the chapter or whatever you're reading, right? It makes it easier because every time you know that the person you're dealing with comes from the place of love, even if it's the day that you collect basbos, it's easier for you to accept because you know that this person means well. And we know that our Father does mean well. And that's why He has called us in here to tell us things that will help us as we journey, as we start. A lot of us are writing, we're recreating, we're auditing. We're auditing, we're checking out our beliefs, our thoughts, things that we have agreed to all this while. We're seeing new things, and it's all because He wants the best for us. So check out what He says to us in verse 1. He says, choose good reputation over great riches. Being held in high esteem is better than silver or gold. He recognizes that we are a people of will. He recognizes that he has given us that capacity to choose, and he's giving us counsel. And he says, see, guy, choose good reputation. Choose it. It's better. Choose it over this. So when you have an option, every time you have a choice to make, he says, this is the one to do. Choose good reputation. And why is it important? He says, is held in high esteem, better than silver or gold. So I said, okay, good reputation, what does it look like? We know sometimes when we read it, when we don't know what it looks like, we don't really know how to apply it. It means that you will be trustworthy. When there's an opportunity, you will be trustworthy. You will be honorable. You will be conscious. You will be kind. You will be considerate, right? Every time you have an opportunity, how sometimes it's like, oh, let me quickly make the next sharp money. No. But what are you making the next sharp money in expense of? What are you likely to lose when you choose to make that sharp money? You know how some people, every opportunity they get is to make money, regardless of who is involved. As soon as you call them, please come and help them, come and help me fix this light, they will put their own money in the bulb they are going to buy for you. Then they will now come. They will now tell you that, oh, your own bulb, oh, there's nothing. Probably there's nothing wrong with your bulb. It's just the, what do they call it? The lamp holder. And they say to you, madam, your bulb is bad. The lamp holder is bad. Whereas there's nothing wrong with the bulb. But their mindset, everything about them is, let me make the next money, right? Let me take advantage of this person. So wisdom is saying to us, don't do that. Because if you do that, you might get away with the first one. But the second one, you won't, because the person will find out. And as soon as the person finds out, you will lose that business. There are certain people that you cannot commit any project to without supervision, without you insisting that, you know what, I will go and buy the materials. Even when you go and buy the materials, you will come and stand and be watching, because you know that their reputation is terrible. And you cannot go to sleep even when you have assigned them a job to do. And wisdom is saying, no, 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 no. We can't do that. We are wiser. Right? That's it's saying every time you have an opportunity, choose to do the right thing. It's better to be known as a person of integrity. The places it will take you to. Imagine that in a place they say, if you want to find out the truth, ask Ella, ask JD, because they know that you will stand for what is right. That's what wisdom is asking us to do this morning, to choose good reputation. It is better. It is held in high esteem. It takes you to places that matter. There are certain places where is your reputation alone that can open that door. When they are recommending, they'll say, no, she will show up. She's time conscious. She gives you 2:00, she will be there at 2:00. Right. That's what wisdom is asking us to do. Make the choice. Tilt towards good reputation. That is better. Verse 2. It says, the rich and the poor have this in common. The Lord made them both. Initially when I read this place, I was okay. I said, okay, that means that God knew that some people will be poor and some people will be rich. After all, he made them both. But recently I had a better understanding of this verse, and I couldn't wait to share it today. I was like, if all of us can just know this, 2024 or the next 8 days of our lives will be better. We will be able to move from category B to category A. This place will not be like a comfort to say, oh, that means that God will, God intentionally created some people rich and created some people poor. Right. So what's the understanding that I got about this verse recently? God made people. God said he created us, male and female. Every person on this earth is God's creation. So yes, God created. However, we become rich or poor from management. How we manage the resources that we have, our time, our body, the things we choose to do. That's what makes the difference. Our management skill. So all of us have 24 hours, but some people will watch Netflix for 15 hours while somebody else is sitting on this table, unwiser, giving it 1 hour. And tomorrow the person makes a better decision and the person has a better result. And when you read this, you say, but God created all of us, male and female men. However, some people make better use of their resources. And because they make better use of their resources, they produce riches or poverty. Even from what we have read in the book of Proverbs, we hear when he describes the diligent, he describes the lazy. He created everybody, right? But he tells you, even from this, he tells us what happens to the competent. He says the competent will stand before kings. It says, have you seen a man diligent in his work? He will stand before. So as a result of their ability to handle resources, their time, do things, how they show up, that is what makes the difference. That is what determines the results that they produce. So yes, he made them all, but what they produce is a consequence. So being rich or being poor is a consequence. Right? And I wouldn't have believed this until I now read in Genesis, where he said that God created everything on earth. And he didn't allow anything to grow because there was no human being. There was no man to manage it for him. He didn't allow rain. He didn't allow rain because there was no person on earth. That was in Genesis 2. There was no man to till it. So he didn't allow anything grow. Another translation said he didn't allow, he needed man to manage it. So what makes us rich or poor is our ability to manage our resources. Being rich, yes, Stephanie, being rich or poor is a consequence. Right. If you don't take anything, even if I stop here, I would have done my job today. I am telling you the truth, because a lot of us, I can remember I saw my daughter of 2022, 2020, when I read this, and what I wrote there was, yes, I'm okay to know that God is the creator of both the rich and the poor. But when I had this, I said, wow, that's what makes the difference. What makes the difference? How you produce, the level at which you produce, is your management skill. How do you manage your body? How do you manage the even what you have right now? How do you manage it? That will determine what you will make from it. And what you make from it will differentiate you from the next fellow. That's what makes the difference. Praise God. I was the last time I was so tempted, but this time he has come out of my mouth. So praise God. All right, so we're going to verse 3. It says, a prudent person foresees danger and takes precaution. A prudent person, foresees danger and takes precaution. All of us on this table, even being prudent is a consequence. Being prudent is a consequence. There are 3 levels of learning that we learn. We learn by observation, we learn by experience, and we learn by education. By observation, this is what forms our worldview. This one, we are not active in it because we are just observing. This is what happens in our childhood, right? So that's how we learn. But on this table, we are learning by education. We are spending 1 hour. And as a result of this 1 hour that we are putting in, there are certain things that wisdom has told us in these 22 days, that as we live, when we see it as pointers, we can take cover. As we see it coming, we can take cover because we know, we are informed, we are aware. And as a result of it, we can foresee danger and we can run. And people will say, Ella, Chidima, how come you live like this? Nancy, how come you live like this? Why? Because you are prudent. You are careful for your future. right? That's why you take certain decisions. That's why there are certain places you can't show up, because you know that the person you want to be cannot be caught here. It does not marry with the future, right? There are certain things you can't be caught doing. Why? Because you are careful. You know that this thing, in how many years it can show up. And if it shows up, it's going to affect the person that I'm trying to create. So you know not to. That's what a prudent person foresees danger. Whereas a simple thing doesn't care. No, nothing is at stake. So anywhere, anyhow, he just walks in and gets into too many troubles. But a prudent person who has been taught, who is aware, who has wisdom, who has been taught by education, or who has experienced life to the point that he knows that no, I've made that mistake before, I can't make it again. Right. So prudence is a consequence. Is a consequence of experience, is a consequence of learning by observation, is a consequence of learning by education. That's what helps you make informed decisions. There are certain things that you could have done or fallen into, right? That as a result of this table, you know better. And because you know better, when you are put in that same situation, you know that wisdom says if you keep quiet, it's counted to you as wisdom. So you're in a place, everybody's talking, pa, 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 and you just decide to keep quiet. Wisdom has told you that when you take that position, that you'll be counted as wise. So when everybody is talking blah, 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 blah in a place and you decide, somebody comes in, they spot you, they'll be like, who is that wise girl? See how she just comported herself. See how she's put together. And it ends you. Why? Because you are now prudent. You are now cautious. You have learned. Okay, so we are in verse 4. We're going to verse 4 now. True humility and fear of the Lord leads to riches, honor, and long life. So riches, honor, and long life are a result of, right? I said that when I read this, something just jumped to my head, said true humility is not the absence of self-worth. It's not the absence of self-worth. However, is a recognition of your self-worth and the recognition of the next person's self-worth. So you don't think that you are better off. No, you recognize that all of us have self-worth. However, I would keep calm. I would hold myself together, right? I wouldn't think myself highly than anybody. And I will fear the Lord. There is nothing that you are given. There's nothing that you have that you were not given. Tell me which one. Is it your looks? Your looks, your complexion, your height? Yes, I know that these days, you can create anything. You can get any figure that you want to have. But people that have it, we're all given. Right? So what am I going to? My intellect, my ability to grasp, my ability to understand, I was given. Yeah, I have developed it. Even the ability to develop them is a gift. So on what basis am I going to be proud in? On what basis? Which one did I create for myself? Right. So true humility and the fear of the Lord leads to riches. That's what comes with it. Riches come with it. Honor comes with it, and long life. And we see it for the life of Jesus. Right? We see it from the life of Jesus. What the Bible tells us is that though he was God, he's God. But when he had to come here, he didn't equate himself. He put that aside to do the work that he needed to do. So sometimes, yes, you are the MD CEO. Yes. But there are sometimes when you will put that aside to be able to do the things that you need to do. And you know that putting that title aside does not change the fact that you are MD CEO. Do you understand? You are so secured in who you are that you know that title does not mean anything. I remember that when I left banking, my son asked me, he said, Mommy, so when people ask me now, what does my mother do? What will I say? What title? What title will I give her? What title? I say she's your mother. That's enough. You know, I had to be secured in who I am to be able to survive my transition. Because in banking, I walk into a branch, I'm known now. Security men would adjust. Then you now leave that setting, walk into places, and nobody knows you. Is humbling. That if you are not secured, you will shake. If yourself, if you are not secured on who you are, you will shake, you will bamboozle you. But who? What is the problem? Ella is here. Even myself, without a title, I'm enough force. Have you seen me? Do you understand? So humility is in depth. Is your assuredness of who you are. That's what gives us humility. Right? It's not titles are good. But if we are not, if it's all about the title, then when the title leaves, that's when you see people lose who they are because it was all about the title. But when you are grounded in who you are, titles don't make a difference. They are beautiful. Yes, when you call me Coach E, you call me Todd Doctor, you call me, yes, it's nice. But you see this, Ella, I like the groundedness of me. If there's anything, groundedness, I don't know if that English exists, though, but I've used it, right? I like it because it keeps me stable. Take it off. Take off any title. Nothing is shaking. I'm here, gidigba, nothing. Because I am very aware of my self-worth. Right, let's go to verse 5. Corrupt people work on turning and treacherous road. Whoever values life will avoid it. Corrupt. You know, when we hear corrupt, we think that it's you have collected the money, right? That's what we think. You know, when we label people, even our leaders, when we label them as corrupt, is because we think that it is just about that they have collected. But let me shock you. That you even show the willingness to act dishonestly, that the fact that that opening is there, that you even considered it, makes you corrupt. Check the meaning of corruption. To be corrupt, a corrupt person. It says somebody that shows or that has the tendency, as in you even show the willingness, that's the word you use, willingness to be dishonest for money, in exchange for money, or in exchange for personal gain. That's what makes you corrupt. So even if you haven't collected, that there is that willingness there, you are corrupt. When I saw it, I was like, wow. So we have to check it too. You know, it's very good to cast stone. But how many times have we been early? How many times have we been there when that willingness was there? You know that if they had made the offer, you would do it. The only reason why you didn't do it is because that offer wasn't made. That's the corruption. That's what makes you corrupt. So, knowing what the consequence is, their road, they might look like they are making headway. You're showing the willingness. They are giving you what you want. You are giving them what they want. It's fantastic. But what's the end? What's the end like? It says, turning, as in no smooth road, disaster, pain. That's what is on your path. That's what is on the path of somebody who is corrupt. So it's not all good. It might be good now, but let's look at 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, even 20 years, save. Even yes, you outlive it, it's still there. Because if wisdom has said it, that's what it is. You know, when wisdom says it, wisdom doesn't say because it wants to please us. No, wisdom tells us what is. So regardless of who experiences, we know who experiences it. We know that that's what the end is. Treasures and Tony. So we have a choice. We have a choice. We have a choice. If we want to just satisfy ourselves for the now, now. The now. But wise people don't think only of the now. They look ahead. They know that, no, it cannot only be now. It cannot only be now. All right, let's go to verse 6. Verse 6 says, direct your children onto the right path, and when they are old, they will not leave it. You know, there are certain things that I do now as a mom that I can remember my mom doing it. I can remember. Some of those things, she didn't sit me down to teach me, like, say, Ella, come and sit down. Let me tell you, nah, 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 nah. Some of them, remember what I said? We learn by observation. Some of them, I absorbed it from observation. My mom taught me how to treat people. She taught me by me observing my mother. I knew that it is honorable to to treat people with worth. That everybody, is it driver, is it cook, is it gate man, is whoever, as long as that person is a human being, the person should be treated with respect. I learned it by observation. And today, I cannot stand it when I see you disrespect or treat somebody badly for whatsoever reason. I learned it by observation. And it says, direct, teach, show them, show them, show them. You know, when you stand and you talk down on your domestic staff and you make people feel so terrible, you strip them of their self-worth and you feel that you are okay. It just shows how little you are as a person. That's how I see it, really. When I see people like that, I say, this person is really small as a person that feels that he needs to do this, to be able to assert him or herself. No, we teach. Children are taught. Children are taught. And when I looked at Ephesians 6, verse 4, amplified, it gave me 4 levels of teaching or directing. Because some translations will say train, some translations will say teach. It gives me 4 levels. It says the first one is to train. Here, you just teach. You just tell them, oh, this is how to do this, right? Intentional. You are doing the talking. You are showing. You are modeling. You do that. The second way where you direct is discipline. This one, you use physical punishments. There are sometimes when it's only physical punishment that can do that training or that directing. Because when you teach, it doesn't work. But just give them kind, small. Everything will reformat. And JD has now taught me that, when you do that kind, prophesy on it, declare, say, I am flogging you because this is your heart. You said, yes, when you are now doing the punishment, add explanation, give more meaning to it so that they can reframe the experience so that the meaning stays with them, not the negative. But you see, that punishing, yes, we would add it because we must do the 4 at different times. Whichever one is necessary, we will do it. When it's time to just teach, we will teach. When it's time to discipline, we will discipline. When it's to give counsel, we will give counsel. Then, when it's to admonish, that's the one that Eli did not do. Eli did not firmly reprimand his children, and that's why God was upset with him. So whichever one, at any point, whichever one is necessary, we'll bring it forward. But we know that in these 4 levels, we must direct the children in the path. Because all the things we are doing, if you are a parent, please hear me. These 4 levels, we must do it. There are times when we will teach. There are times when we will discipline. Times when you will become guidance and counselor, you will counsel. When you need to admonish, you will admonish. But 4 of them, will you do it? Yes. If you fail in any of them, it will show. If you fail in any of them, it will show. And the price most times is too costly. Right? So when they get older, there are certain things you can't catch me doing. Whose daughter am I? No, I beg you. Yes, I've grown in my husband's house, but no. I know that is a no. Why? Because somebody taught me. She taught me. She taught me that human beings are helpers. That's what she taught me. My mother would tell me, go, somebody will help you. That's what she would say to me. I remember traveling from Jos to Abia State University by myself. At what age? At 15, going to 16. Nobody accompanied me. And my mother said, when you get to the bus, there will be somebody to help you. Somebody will guide you. Yes, ask questions. And that's how I entered with my bag. I entered and I was going because my mother said that somebody will help me. And that teaching has kept me. I enter a place, I am not worried. I know there are people there who are assigned to help me and they will show up. And I can't tell you the number of times that that teaching has helped me. That's my life. That's how I know people. I know people as helpers because somebody taught me that way. So he said, direct the children, teach them. Oh, let's go to verse 7. Verse 7. He said, just as the rich rule the poor, so the borrower is servant to the lender. So, for me in this place, I said, so I shouldn't be bamboozled. I shouldn't feel bad. So we won't feel bad because wisdom has already told us how he operates. He says, this is how he operates. The rich have an upper hand. The lender has an upper hand. So when you are going to borrow, just know that that is how it is. Right? So you are not offended when the lender acts anyhow, but you already know. When you see the rich act a certain way, you already know. So there's no negative emotion at all. You are so aware of this, that this is how it works. And we can then choose where we want to play. Yesterday I kept asking myself, I said, Ella, that means that I have a choice. I have a choice. I have a choice how I feel. I have a choice if I want to be a lender. I have a choice. If I want to be the one who is up, then I know that I cannot be the servant. I cannot be the one who is borrowing. So what do I need to do? What habits do I need to cultivate? What skills do I need to acquire? How can I become the one who is the lender, who is the rich? It's a choice. And wisdom has helped us know that it's a choice. It's up to us what we want to do and the role we want to play. That's why I'm so glad that we have these days and every other day of our life that we will come back here to gain more wisdom, to apply it. So that when we are living our lives, everybody is just like, there's just something different because of the time that we spend in becoming the person that can produce the life that we truly want. What I know is that you have to become to produce. You have to become. There's somebody you have to become. There's a mindset that needs to change for you to be able to operate at certain levels. And until that shift happens, nothing. You will just be going. But as soon as that shift happens, you see things completely. Before, I used to struggle with planning because I'm like, so where's the place of God? Especially if you're a person of faith. I'm like, so where's the place of God if I have? But by the time I saw wisdom shouting, say you have to plan, you have to plan, you have to plan. The planning is yours to do. Leave the performance, leave the other things. There is a God factor in it, yes, but you have to do the planning. Until that shift happened, it was difficult for me to do. So there are certain mindsets that must change for you to operate at certain levels. Okay, those who plant injustice will harvest disaster. So when you are planting it, when you are planting injustice, just know that your reward is disaster. Or when you also see somebody who is in the habit of doing it, when you look at them, you look at them from the place of knowing, with compassion, with pity, because you know that this person is just digging their grave. Right? This person is just digging their grave because the person will meet the person will harvest. He didn't even say will meet. He says the person that plants injustice will harvest. That means as you are planting, can you see? Injustice is the seed. The harvest is disaster. Okay. Injustice is the seed. Harvest, disaster. So you choose what you want to harvest. But will you harvest? Yes, you would harvest it because you have planted the seed. So it's up to you. It's up to us. It's up to me, Ella. Ella, it's up to you if you are going to plant injustice. It's up to you. But just remember that what you will harvest is disaster. So choose which one you want to do. It says their reign of terror will come to an end. So you already know that the person that is planting injustice might be there for a bit, but the person's time will end. We already have a guarantee. So when we're looking at the person, we're just laughing because we're like, have your time. Have your time. Not only will your time end, but you will reap disaster. So it's something that we can, when you're unfair, when you're unfair, when you violate people's rights, when you when you just come into a place, you just enjoy it. When you jam people's head and they are all fighting, you're okay. It's okay. Oh. Keep planting it, because this is what it is that you are going to reap. We'll go to verse 9. Say, blessed are those who are generous, because they feed the poor. So I try to reframe this in my head to help me understand it. It says, generous because you feed the poor. So what God defines as generous is when we are able to give. What wisdom defines as generous is when we are able to feed the poor. And as a result of that, we are blessed. So we are blessed because we give unto the poor. So sometimes what you need to give is just a word of wisdom. What you need to give, what you have to give is just comfort. What you have to, there's sometimes that what somebody needs is not physical food, it's their soul that is hungry. And you are able to give from the wisdom that you have gleaned these days. God calls you blessed. So you say, oh, Ella, I don't have food. But you have gained wisdom. You have gotten better. So this thing that you have gained, how generous can you be with it? How can you give somebody else? Right. So our ability to share what we have become is called, it will gain us blessings. He says, throw out the mocker, and fighting goes too. Can you imagine? He said, take the person out. Quarrels and insults will disappear. There's some people that when they show up in a place, oh my God, they carry trouble with them. They pollute the atmosphere. They are very troublesome. And they take pride in it. And you're bragging. You're bragging that when you come into a place, you pollute the place. And you're bragging. Really? It's something to brag about. Oh my goodness. There's nothing attractive in that. Yeah, I said it. There's nothing attractive. There's nothing good about that. You're not even supposed to be in the room. You're supposed to be outside, according to verse 10. We shouldn't even allow you in. So when you come, we should just quick, so that you can go, so that we can regain our sanity and our peace back. You shouldn't be in the midst of people. Hey, God, do. Verse 11. Whoever loves a pure heart and gracious speech will have the king as a friend. You know how there's certain times when you don't speak. There's certain times when you are quiet, not because you do not have something to say, but because you know that if I say what I want to say at this time, I wouldn't achieve my result. So for me, speaking is an intentional act. I'm asking myself, Ella, what do you want to achieve with this conversation? And because I am keeping the aim in mind, I know that if I speak at this time, I won't get what I want. Or I would speak from the place of anger and it would defeat the purpose. So I would speak when I know that first of all, I have my emotions under control, or at least to the best of my ability. And when what I want to gauge the atmosphere, I can achieve what I want to achieve. Because every communication is supposed to serve purpose. I says, if you are gracious in your speech, if you know how to speak, if you know when to speak, if you know how some people would write without tact, you want somebody to do something, but by the time you finish, you have already stripped the person of the person's self-worth, and you're not asking to do what? Even if the person is your staff, you pay salary, I agree. But you think that when you finish speaking to the person like that, when you see somebody else, you will speak differently. You'll be shocked. You will show yourself everywhere. Right? So when we're pure in heart, because that's where life is lived. Remember, what goes on here is what determines it. What was your thought like? If your thought is pure, your heart is pure. What's going on there? Are you auditing it or are you allowing it? Let me tell you. Research says that an average person thinks between 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And the amazing thing with that information is that 80% of them are negative. 80% are negative. And 95% of that is repetitive. So if we don't get conscious of what happens in our head, our heart will be messed up. Our heart will be messed up. All that is there will be unforgiveness, bitterness, anger, revenge. That's all that will be there. But if we can stay conscious, we are auditing per time. You're saying, what's going on in my head concerning this person? What's my thought about this person? Because you will see it from the way you speak. Every time you open your mouth is as a result. It says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. So for me, one way that I gauge what is in my head towards anybody or towards any situation is what I say about it. It tells me what is going on in my head. That's how I can easily audit my thoughts per time. I listen to myself, because your mouth will always give you away. It will always. So if you listen to what you have said, it tells you where your heart, it tells you what your thought about that person is. It tells you what your thought about the situation is. Just listen to yourself. All right, let's go to verse 12. The Lord preserves those with knowledge, but ruins the plans of the treacherous. He has told you now, he will ruin your plans. You will finish planning, you won't be able to execute it, right? You won't be able to, you will ruin your plans, but he will preserve those that have knowledge. So we unwiser, we wisearians, God will preserve us because we have spent time, 1 hour for the past 22 days, gaining knowledge. So we know what will happen. We will be preserved because we will take better decisions, because we will be in the right place. We know how to conduct ourselves. We know how to keep quiet. We know when to speak. We know how to speak. We know to audit our thoughts. We know to listen to our language, to see what is going on in the inside of us. We will be preserved. He says, lazy person claims that the lion is outside. He said the lazy person claims there's a lion out there. If I go outside, I might be killed. Excuses. Excuses. One reason why I could not. There was one reason why I shouldn't. There's one reason when I couldn't. There's one reason. There's always a reason, a reason, a reason, a reason. The reason is not the problem. The reason is because you don't want to do it. You are allowing your body, you are entertaining the thought that says I cannot. You say, for where? Who said I will show up, Joe? And sometimes as soon as you respond, as soon as you say something, your entire body changes reaction. You'll not be shocked. Is it not you? Is it not you that said? Is it not you that said? Let me call myself out. So when I was supposed to do today, I almost chickened out. I had a retreat. The retreat was supposed to coincide. They moved the dates. I was telling JD, I said, JD, I will come back to you. At the point, I said, I better respect yourself. What's that? You will show up, even if it's the same day. You will show up. And I'm proud of myself. Yes, I'm here. That I did not give in to that thought, that I couldn't combine it, or the days were too close and all of that. I called, I said, please, is there any other date? I've called myself out. Ella, you see yourself? If you try it again, I'll call you out on another table. But we will show up. We won't buy laziness. We will do what is right. Right. Okay, let's go to verse 14. The mouth of an immoral woman. Immoral woman is a dangerous trap. Those who make the Lord angry will fall into it. I said, wahoo. I said, God. So if we make you angry, when I read it, I laughed. I said, God, so if we make you angry, you go and throw us inside the mouth of an immoral woman. You will make us fall into a trap. God, I beg, go. If we have made you angry, I beg, sorry. We're sorry. We don't want to fall into a trap. We don't want to fall into our trap at all, because we know that falling into her trap, there's no life there. We're going to mess up ourselves, so we don't fall into her trap. So we repent, and we'll keep repenting. Wisearians, we will keep repenting. We will keep repenting, because we don't want to fall into the trap of the immoral woman. We already know what that trap looks like. It can be a man, it can be anything. that we know that as long as it's immoral, the effect, there's nothing good, that comes from it. So we would constantly repent so that the Lord does not make us fall into that trap. Yeah, verse 15. It says a youngster's heart is filled with foolishness, but physical discipline will drive it far away. So see, mommy, that you discipline is an act of love, right? That you discipline. Sometimes when I hear say, I do not, I wish you well, oh. But the person that created say, you know what? In the heart of that child, there's plenty foolishness. But when you just apply physical punishment, it deals with it. Even sometimes you talk. As soon as you just bring the cane up, everybody, I say, really? So I have to bring cane for you people to hear me, right? So if wisdom tells you that is what you should do, you cannot be wiser than wisdom now, can you? You can't. So even when you don't like it, you will do what you need to do because you know that you need to save this child from foolishness. And I've noticed that sometimes when you have done that, my son will say, I know my mother. I know my mother. Yes, I'm okay that he knows me. He knows that I love him. And at the same time, he knows that there are certain things that he will not do. Because his mother would apply physical discipline. When need be, she will apply it. With my full chest, I will apply it. Because I would save him from the foolishness. So, because I know that God will hold me responsible for that child. So I will do what is expected of me as his mom. And it doesn't mean that I do not love him. It means that I love him. And that's why I don't want him to walk that path. Okay, verse 16. A person who gets ahead by oppressing the poor or by showering gifts on the rich will end in poverty. Two categories of people, but their end is the same. You oppress the poor, you go and shower. He did not say do not give, but when I check the showering, it's when it's raining. That's the description. When it's raining, little drops, but plenty. So he's saying balance it. You can't oppress the poor. You can't. You think that some translation says because the Lord is their defender. You can't do it. You can't use your position to oppress people. You shouldn't use your position to. Because if you do, you will end in poverty. And I like that wisdom is so definite about what happens. And we know that what wisdom says is the truth. He's telling us because it's the truth. Wisdom has gone ahead. He sees what the end is. So he's telling us now so that we can make better choices, so that our end will be different. That's the essence of wisdom. All right, we go to verse 17. Excuse me. Let me sip tea. This weather is cold. All right. It now says, listen to the words of the wise. Apply your heart to my instruction. For it is good to keep these sayings in your heart and always ready on your lips. By the time we eat this thing for 31 days and for every other day, for every day going forward, that we come back to this, we will fill our heart with it. And when you fill your heart with it, every time you open your mouth in response to speak, if you hear yourself, you'll be proud. Because you have fed your heart. You have gone to the source to clean up the source, to feed it, so that every time you produce, what comes out of you, your words are soothing to the ears. You are wise. You know counsel. People would say, what do you think? Uduak, what do you think? What do you think I should do? Uduak say her place is hot. Udoka, okay, Udoka, I wonder where that place is right now that is this hot. Okay. When we fill our heart with the right, what comes out of our mouth will show that our heart is right. Right? Somebody seeking direction, you will be the call. Somebody wants peace, wants to be rebuked in love. The person knows that you will tell the person the truth, but you will say it in love, and they will come for you. Why? Because you have fed your heart where the source is, with the right things, with wisdom. He says, I am teaching you today. Yes, you. Yes, we, Wisarians. Wisdom is teaching us today. So you will trust in the Lord. You know something? We have learned so much in these 22 days, right? That if we think that we can do it with our physical, with our will alone, it's not enough. Your will can take you to a point, and after a point, you can't take you. So we need to trust God to be able to do it. You know, one of the things that I love about my faith, about the Christian faith, is the gift of the Holy Spirit. That's one of the greatest things that I love about it. You know, I say that God, our Father, Jesus, is the only one that asks you to do something and gives you the enablement to do it. And He's willing to do it for you, that helps you do it. And that's why He says we trust the Lord. So we have learned so much. We have taken so much notes, things we need to change. That will can only take you to a bit. After a while, after January, you will forget. But if you trust the Lord with it, if you ask the Holy Spirit to help you with it, you will find out that you would begin to apply it day in, day out, because it will not now be on your own strength. It will be through the enablement of the Holy Spirit, and you will be able to do it. That's one of the gains that we have in the Christian faith, the gift of the Spirit of God. So we would employ Him, especially now that we know we want to live our lives differently, we want to do better, we must employ Him. So from verse 17 to 28, it tells us, it says, I have written 30 sayings for you, filled with advice and knowledge. In this way, you may know the truth and take an accurate report to those who sent you. He now goes to say, don't rob the poor just because you can. Don't use your position or exploit the needy in the court. He says, for the Lord is their defender. So when you see some court judgments, when you take a position that does not favor the poor, you do it in favor of a friend or somebody who you think you can benefit something for. Just know that, yes, the poor cannot match up to you, but God is their defender. You know, I was telling one of my staff, I said, the only reason why I will not treat you badly, regardless of what you do, is because I am conscious of the fact that you too, you have a defender. And if I do it, he will come for me. And I don't want his anger. So I will do what is right, regardless of what you do, because it's not about you. He says, don't befriend any angry people. Don't befriend angry people or associate with hot-tempered people, or you will learn to be like them and endanger your soul. You know, when we brag, say, I'm hot-tempered. You know this, me, I'll give it to you hot, hot, hot. Really? You know, and especially if you're a parent, please hear me. Hear me if you're a parent. How you deal with when you are upset is very key. Because remember that there are children who are learning you by observation, and they feel that when it's time, when you're upset, what to do is to break table, break cup. I remember a child of 6 years old who was brought to my attention because this child, when he gets angry in school, he will push table, push everything. Teacher will want to flog, he will hold it. And when we dug deeper, we found out that his father, when his father is angry, he will break TV, he will break table. And that's what his son, at 6 years old, the boy had changed how many schools because schools can't tolerate him in there. You will endanger your soul, you will endanger the soul of your children. 26, verse 26, please. Remember when we did day 6, we talked about this. If you remember, he says, don't agree to guarantee another person's death. Don't agree. Or put up security for someone else. Don't do it. If you can't pay it, even your bed will be. JD, can you scroll up? I can't say it. Even your bed will be snatched from under you. And I remember in verse 6, he told us, if you have to do it, monitor that thing that you have guaranteed. Weigh your exposure. Follow through, follow up on the person, monitor, make sure the person is paying. If you don't, you will pay. Oh, I paid the loan because I did not monitor. I just went to bed. And wisdom is saying, don't even do it in the first place. But in verse 6, he also told us, if you have to do it, monitor, make sure you check out so that you follow through. Don't just guarantee and go to bed, right? Do what you need to do. Don't cheat your neighbor by moving the ancient boundary. By moving the ancient boundary markers set up by previous generations. You guys have agreed on something. Don't change it, right? I apologize. I'm passing 1 hour. Just that's the last. I think we're in the last verse. Don't do it. Don't cheat them. Don't cheat. You've agreed on something. Stay with the agreement. Stay with it. Yes, this is usually land. You can say, oh, that has to do with land. Yeah, it has to do with land, but there are agreements that have been reached. You said you will pay at so and so day. You guys always pay at so and so day. Please pay on that day. Don't use other people's money to go and quickly tidy up your thing. Who says that person doesn't need the money? Who says that person doesn't need the money? Who says that it's only you that has something that you need to do with the money? That cannot be right. That cannot be right. It now says, the final verse says, do you see any truly competent workers? What's competent? I tried to check out the meaning of competent. It says somebody who has the necessary ability, who has the necessary knowledge or skill to do something successfully. It says the person will serve kings rather than working for ordinary people. So in 2024, you want to stand before people that matter. Ella, in 2024, going forward, you want to stand in front of people that matter. Stephanie, you want to stand in front of people that matter. Chinyere, you want to stand in front of people that matter. He says, go and do this. Go and get competent. Get the necessary ability. Get the necessary skill. Learn how to do it successfully. And you will serve kings and not ordinary people. Thank you so much for having me. I apologize for spending 2 minutes over 7. But thank you so much, Wiserians. May God help all of us. I love you. Kisses for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you, Ella. We are grateful to you. We thank you for your commitment to us, your openness, your insight, and your commitment to us. Thank you for not turning us down and turning the dates around. I'm so excited about who we are all becoming.
Yeah.
Someone sent me an email. Please, let me just quickly. Oh my goodness, did I take a screenshot? Let me see if I did. She sent me an email. I would like to read it. I hope I took a screenshot. I'm not sure. Because to find that mail now, it was a wiser mail. She said the other day when I think it was Nancy that was here, she was going to, okay, I found it. Let me read it. She says, "Hi JD, it's been indeed amazing, and I feel so blessed to be a part of Wiser. I feel empowered and ready to redesign my life. In the new year, God willing, my thought pattern is actually changing, and I am now more intentional about my actions, what and who I listen to. I am also practicing being graceful to everyone I meet, and indeed, this has earned my favors, or maybe she meant earn me favors. Finally, today's session hit me and made me rethink my plan. I was about to steal from my husband. We intend to buy some items for some family, and I wanted to inflate the costs. But that is because I need some money and don't know how to ask him, since he's so good at saying no. But guess what? I am wiser. And I will never dare to do that again.
Beautiful.
Never again.
Beautiful.
Ella,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
this sacrifice is
Yeah.
worth it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Such
Yes.
openness, such truth. I couldn't respond to the mail for some time because I actually wept.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
tears were just coming like, see who we are becoming.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
becoming
Yes.
the people of our
Yes.
future.
Yes.
We are becoming
Yes.
the better versions that we had said we would be.
Yes.
Some of us were going to make certain decisions that were changed because of what we heard here.
Yes.
We
And it's
are
worth it.
becoming. So to everyone who has been here from day one, whether you've been faithful, not faithful, what I mean faithful is you've been here consistently, you've been watching it. Look, it doesn't matter, but you've been here.
Yes. Yes.
You've been taking the learnings and you've been applying something to your life.
Yeah.
Look, we are all becoming
Yes.
better.
Yes, I agree.
I've read this mail. I don't know how many times I read it. I don't even what response did I even send? I don't think my response was commensurate with how I felt. Why we are becoming.
Yeah.
And thank you. We are
Thank you
becoming.
for having me.
I wish I could mention the names of the 102 people that are on the call right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you know yourself wherever you are, either live or you're watching the recording. Congratulations, we are becoming.
Yes. Yes.
And when the door, that old you will keep knocking at the door. That's the thing. Like you said, we'll keep repenting, we'll keep repenting. Because the old you will come and knock on the door and go, excuse me, hello, are you free today?
Yes.
Today I'm not free.
Yes.
Guess what? That old you might actually knock for 365 days next year. She or he won't give up so fast. They'll keep knocking. In fact, they might keep knocking for the next 10 years. But just keep telling them today, I'm wiser.
Even when you open the door, and you let them, as soon as you recognize it, tell them, get out of here.
Get out. Yes,
get out.
Because there are times we open the door to them.
Yes, there are times we do. So when you recognize it, say, get out.
Who is here? Out.
Out. Immediately. Nonsense.
I love you. Thank you so much. God bless you, my sister.
Yeah.
I hope we're seeing later today.
Of course. If you know, you
See
know.
you all.
Thank you. Thank you
Bye,
so
everybody.
much for having me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.